Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for the Cuckoo's Fiancee, Chapter 33. When we last left our heroes, Erika had passed her makeup tests, and so Sachi took Erika and Nagi to this festival that the Uminos help out with every year. And while Erika was a little late, so Nagi and Sachi were working at the yakisoba booth, where they ran into Hiro. And then Nagi introduced Sachi as his younger sister to Hiro. Nagi also got to hear how Sachi talks about him with her friends. But then later that night, the big thing is that Erika and Sachi then went out to enjoy the festival together, where they ran into Hiro again, and Erika introduced Sachi as her own little sister. And that's where we left off last chapter. So, all that being said, let's jump right on into chapter 33. And we open seemingly moving forward, just kind of abandoning last chapter's cliffhanger. Because we see Erika and Nagi, who was not with Nagi and Erika and Sachi earlier. Come on, Nagi-kun, hurry! What? Hey, I went to the trouble of picking your yukata for you. At least try to make it look good. I can't even make my own clothes look good. Self-burn, Nagi. Wow, look! And just then they see, I'm guessing, the fireworks. Engaged couple plus yukata plus summer festival equals guaranteed fun. Now let's go exploring. And hopefully we'll get a flashback to what happened at the end of last chapter. But doesn't look to be the fireworks like I thought it was. It's like lanterns and just the light of the festival. It's kind of weird that they were just seeing it then, given that the lights are clearly behind them as well, unless they all turned on at the same time. They don't really look electronic to me. I don't know enough about festivals to comment. Anyway, exploring the festival with Princess Erika. 33rd foul, I'll never forget this summer. We also see a little kid in a Shoba costume. My heart. We stand Shoba. I've never been to a festival before. Where should we go first? Nagi looks at Erika's excitement. At least someone's excited. And then he checks his phone, and he sees a text from Hiro. Sorry, I still have some work to finish up. Crying emoji. Which imply I'm wondering if it's more she's gotten some kind of assumption due to the fact that he and Erika share a little sister. But again, we still need to see what happened at the end of last chapter in order to really kind of work out what's going on with Hiro right now. But Nagi thinks, well, it sucks that my festival date with Seigo-san fell through, but maybe I should just make the most out of being with Amino-san like this. And Erika sighs, I was really hoping to bring Sachi-chan with us. Oh well. That's still weird, though, because she was with Sachi last chapter, so I figured that she would... I don't know, for some reason we've skipped whatever big drama thing happened in between these two chapters, and I feel like it's kind of important to get that, to really know what's going on in this chapter. And we see Mrs. Umino. It's your hometown festival. You shouldn't waste the opportunity. You and Erika-chan should go enjoy yourselves. Oh, the future married couple are going on a date, is Yohei. And Sachi smiles at them. Just go. I'll take care of helping with the shop. That doesn't seem... Because this last chapter, they closed down the shop, right? They met their quota, and they were like, alright, we're done for the day. So, what's going on now? Sorry, my phone was beeping at me. And so what's going on now is what I'm getting at. Because, I don't know. I feel like a part of me is worried that Yoshikawa is just, gonna pretend the end of last chapter never happened and, retcon that for some strange reason. I don't know. Just you wait, Sachi-chan. I'll enjoy this enough for the both of us. And Nagi looks at her. Well, aren't you positive? But, Nagi-kun, I want to try that. It's goldfish catching. This sort of thing is nice from time to time. And he, counts his cash. I even managed to score a little money from work. And Amino pulls out her credit card and acts confused. What do you mean I can't use my card? Is that even a thing these days? And the shopkeeper just, X's her. I thought this was Japan. Never seen someone try to pay for goldfish catching with a card. And Erika storms off. Ugh, whatever, let's go somewhere else. I've got a real bad feeling about this. None of the stalls are gonna let her use her card. Oh, Nagi-kun, there's a prize lottery. I want to try. You know you can't use your card, right? Shut up, I know. And she won like a 6th place prize, this like goofy mustache and glasses disguise costume piece. Nagi like hands behind his head. At least you can use it for your costumes, right? Heh and Erika just kind of murmurs, "No, I want that one!" And she points to the first place Switch console, or Switchy in Anime Land. Why? You already own that console, don't you? I don't want the console. I want to get first. You just want bragging rights. And then she slams down a whole bunch of money. I'll take every ticket you have. And Nagi just grabs her. We're leaving. Why? I want to get first. This isn't the time or place for your games. And all of like the passerbys have noticed them. Isn't that the hotel heiress? Amino Erika. Whoa, she's famous. Why is she here? As they're walking away, Nagi thinks to himself, "You always raise such a fuss. It's a pain." And then he says, "Oh, I know what we should do, Amino-san. Okonomiyaki." And so yeah, they go and get some food. There's nothing better than fresh okonomiyaki from a food cart. Ah, this sauce. It smells like a festival. And now I don't have to worry about Amino-san. And he turns back to look at Erika, who is stuffing the okonomiyaki into her mouth with her bare hands. Her hands are like covered in the sauce, as are her cheeks. Were you saying something? This stuff's really hard to eat. Yummy, though. And Nagi just sighs. You never learn how to walk and eat at the same time. Let's go back. What, already? You're not cut out for festival life. What's that supposed to mean? Wait a second. Oh. And it's the fucking fanboys. Did Erika ever meet the fanboys? Yeah, she met them in the first chapter, but in their second appearance, Nagi drew them away while Erika was out, right? It is you, Erikiden. Gah, we heard you were here through social media. You're wearing a yukata. This is incredible. And Nagi just head in his hands. These guys again. Nagi-kun handled this. Well, look who it is. You haven't learned your lesson about following Erikiden, huh? And Nagi just looks at them dead-faced. I could say the same to you. You disgusting little stalker. It's a waste to use it on you, but I powered up even more, and I'm gonna kick you to the curb. And just then, Nagi ignores them. He grabs Erika by the wrist and runs off. And the three fanboys are just shocked. Eh? And Nagi just, deadpan. Victory through retreat. And they get away. They're kind of, a little out of breath. I think we lost them. Yep. And then Erika turns to Nagi. So why the heck did we run? Because getting into a fight in a crowd like that would be trouble. But getting into a fight is one of the top 10 festival experiences. What the hell are you Googling? Do I look like someone who enjoys being the center of attention? I just love the idea of Erika deciding she has to get into it. Like, where does that idea come from? And then Erika examines Nagi a little bit. And then she takes Nagi's hand and seems to sniff it for some reason. What? Nagi-kun, you smell like Worcestershire. I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that right. I'm never actually even sure how to pronounce that right. Nagi just looks away. Because I stuck with you and you're slathered in sauce. Then Nagi sits down on the side of the road. The okonomiyaki's all over me. And Erika kind of starts to giggle. This is so stinking fun. Fun? Yeah, I got to do all the festival stuff I Googled. You've been Googling, huh? It felt so summery. And then we see Erika grinning with her head in her hands. I'll never forget this summer. It's still starting to look like we're just not going to loop around to last week's cliffhanger. But Nagi looks at her and then looks away. Oh yeah? But compared to your usual summers, wasn't this kind of dull? I guess you're right. I usually spend my summers overseas. How late into the summer are we? Because we talked a little bit about it being around 2 months since they moved into the house. But I don't think it was ever really stated when the series started. We know it's summer now, but I don't know enough about festivals to know when in the summer a festival normally takes place. Is this midsummer, end of summer? I don't know. Someone more familiar with that, please feel free to elucidate me. Elucidate me? I think that's the word. In the comments. And she has this flashback of herself lounging on a beach chair in Monaco. What? But this was more fun than any of those. Nagi pauses for a moment. Well, what I mean is... And just then, now they see the fireworks. We saw the light on their faces. And yet, there's the two of them staring at the fireworks. And then we come back to the restaurant. Sachi, we need more beer. Okay. And Sachi goes back to bring them the beer. Sounds like fireworks. Is it that late already? Nagi, Erika-chan, are you watching them too? And we see Sachi looking out at the fireworks. Am I not good enough for you? Alright, get out of here with your incest shit, Sachi. Then we come back to our main duo. That firework was huge! And Nagi just stops her. The last one was bigger. No, the one just now was. And then we hear someone shout out, there you are! And we see Hiro has arrived, very out of breath. As Erika is still at mid-cheer and Nagi's jaw is dropped. I've been looking everywhere for you two. Hiro-chan, are you done with work? Come watch the fireworks with us. Nagi is like, Seigo-san, isn't what it... Wait, I want to ask you two a question first. Umino-kun, Erika-chan, you both called Sachi-chan your sister. What exactly is your relationship? And now we finally get to... how to put this? How to put this right? It's basically last week's cliffhanger. It's the same cliffhangers we had last week, which is kind of disappointing. But Erika and Nagi both freeze. They've made an unforgettable memory. But now, next time, Hiro's suspicions explode. Alright. So, it turns out that we're not just completely backtracking on last chapter's cliffhanger, which is very good, because that was one of those things that was very, this kind of changes the game of at least the dynamic between our main three players. Which is kind of Cuckoo's Fiancee's bread and butter. Like, I've noted this before, I noted this last chapter too. This is a very fast-moving series for what's ostensibly a harem manga. Harem manga are notoriously slow. A lot of hijinks that very rarely actually lead anywhere. And yet, Cuckoo's Fiancée is much, much quicker on changing up the dynamics between its characters, even if most of its mysteries, specifically Hiro's fiancé and the person that Erika mentioned trying to reach through social media way back when, have still basically never been addressed after they were first brought up. At the very least, in its character dynamics, it is very, very fast-moving. Especially relative to other harem mangas. Which is very good. That's honestly a very good thing. Even if it doesn't mean great things for the lifespan of the series, it's gonna eventually run out of things to do before it has to end. But I would rather a good short manga than a drawn-out long manga. So yeah, I'm very excited for... Like, at this point, Hiro is directly addressed Erika and Nagi. What the fuck is going on? What's the deal with Sachi? How do you two know each other? And I can't see a way for them to get... For Yoshikawa to get out of it this time. Last chapter, she was just like... I guess it would make sense that Hiro wouldn't directly confront Erika right then and there. But then, she sees Nagi and Erika together at the festival. They have this shared little sister. It's time to find out what the fuck is up. That being said, let's talk about the actual chapter. Because I've mostly been focusing on the end of last chapter and the end of this chapter. But just focusing on this chapter is a really fun time. Especially now that I'm no longer worried that Yoshikawa is just going to ignore what happened last time. That it is still in play. I'm much more comfortable, enjoying Nagi and Erika goofing off for a chapter before we actually have to dive into heavy plot things. And, as y'all know by now, I'm big Team Erika here. And so anything just, enjoying Nagi and Erika's dynamic is always going to be a win of a chapter for me. Trying to find one particular moment of the chapter that's just fantastic. From a non-comedic standpoint, Erika's mentioning that, this summer with Nagi, is more fun than any of the summers she spent abroad and doing like rich people things. It's just really sweet, and it kind of shows her, you know, she talks a lot about wanting to be independent and not just be some spoiled rich girl, and she doesn't always follow through on that. But I feel like her admitting that like this is better than doing all those spoiled rich girl things is, you know, another testament to her desire for independence, and that's always nice to see. And then yeah, we get this great moment of them looking out at the fireworks. I do admit, I think my if I had to pick one funny moment from this chapter, the black card on the goldfish catching is a good choice. But I love I don't care about the switch, I just want the pride of getting first. That's also still pretty in character for Erika. Because, you know, she doesn't need a new game console. But she does like winning. And that's always good. And then, yeah. Next time, there's no way to avoid talking about the elephant in the room. What exactly is Nagi and Erika's relationship? Which we know. But now Hiro has to find out. Is there a way they can tell the story without mentioning the fiancé part? Will Erika specifically, like, excise the fiancé part from their story? Or will Erika's burgeoning feelings for Nagi lead to her stressing the fiancé part of the story? Both of those seem possible to me. But for now, we'll just have to wait until then to see what happens. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, you know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!